After resting for some time, an attendant suddenly comes to tell you that someone is waiting for you in the lobby. You assume someone has found something new and wants to speak with you. However, you arrive to find that in addition to the familiar faces, there is also a man in civilian clothes with an air of authority.
안녕하십니까? 전 허주경찰서의 정경관입니다. 다른 사건 때문에 바로 출동하지 못했습니다. 이제 안심하셔도 좋습니다. 이 사건은 저희가 조사를...
정경관님, 조사 결과가 어땠는지 빨리 얘기해 주실 수 있겠습니까? 이 사건 때문에 상회 일이 지금 며칠 동안 밀려 있어요. 어서 돌아가서 일을 봐야 한단 말입니다.
Meredith interrupts Officer Jean's pleasantries with his remark. Evidently, he had already adapted to his role as the business association president with an explosive personality, perhaps a little too into the role.
알겠습니다. 요점만 말씀드리죠. 부검 결과 전 사장님은 경부 대동맥 절단으로 인한 과출혈로 사망하셨습니다. 사망 시각은 대략 오후 3시에서 5시 사이로 추정되고 전두부 쪽에 손상이 있는 걸로 봐서는 몸싸움이 있었던 것 같습니다.
Can't you narrow it down the window for the time of death? Just as you say it, you suddenly realize that's out of character. Perhaps in this era, there is an advanced technology to accurately determine the victim's time of death.
사장님, 너무 다급해하지 않으셔도 됩니다. 열심히 부검 중일 테니까요.
정경관님께서 말씀해주신 단서들은 저희도 어느 정도 알고 있습니다. 또 다른 정보가 있나요?
Fortunately, Vin steps in to say something on your behalf and Artem also changed the topic. Officer Zhong doesn't pry any further. He reaches into his pocket to dig out crumpled pieces of paper.
그 객실을 살펴본 결과 물건들이 어지럽혀져 있고 서랍은 누군가가 뒤졌던 흔적이 있었습니다. 여기 오기 전 단 매니저님께 여쭤보니 상황을 보러 방에 들어갔을 때는 아무것도 건들지 않았다고 하시더군요. 그렇다는 건 어지럽혀진 방 안의 물건들은 범인의 소행일 가능성이 크다는 거죠. 그리고 감식반에서 객실의 물건들을 검사했는데 연밥죽에서 안정제 성분이 검출되었습니다. 이건 검사 결과지인데 직접 확인해 보시죠.
The hall is suddenly filled with a new murmur of discussion. The whispers form an invisible wall, raising the oppressive atmosphere of the room a step higher.
안정제요? 수면 유도를 도와주는 약 아닌가요? 신문사에도 기사가 잘 안 나와서 초조해지면 잠이 잘 안 온다고 동료들이 그걸 먹더라고요.
일반적으로 밤에 잠이 안 올 때 먹는 거 아닌가요? 낮에는 그런 걸 먹을 리 없었을 텐데 설마...
Someone drugged Bastian's bowl of sweet lotus soup with sedatives to make him fall asleep.
맞아요. 전 사장님이 잠에 들면 방에서 자신이 원하는 물건을 찾을 수 있는 시간이 충분할 테니까요.
하지만 전 사장님이 바로 잠들진 않았던 것 같아요. 아니면 잠들기 직전에 뭔가를 눈치챘다던가.
Would it be that Bastian found the murderer hiding in his room just as he was about to drink the bowl of sweet lotus soup? So instead of taking the sedative and falling asleep, the murderer had a direct confrontation with him.
맞네요. 전 사장님이 머리에 입은 상처는 범인의 소행일 수도 있어요. 기절하면 범행을 저지르기 더 편하니까요.
But there's a problem. If the motive was to incapacitate Bastian, there was no need to kill him after knocking him out.
굳이라니요? 그런 미친 인간한테 양심이라도 바라는 겁니까? 분명 후원이 두려우니까 그냥 죽인 거겠죠? 아이고, 불쌍한 우리 전 사장님. 어떻게 이렇게 갑자기...
Listening to Manager Duan's words, a strange feeling rises inexplicably in your heart. Our victim was drunk and had his throat slit. Was it out of deep hatred? No matter the crush, the culprit's behavior was too deliberate, as if they were trying to cover something up. Before you can give it any more thought, the heated discussion of others sounds in your ear.
범인은 전 사장님에게 얼굴을 들켰고 후환이 두려워서 범행을 저지른 걸까요?
그렇다면 아는 사람에게 당했다는 건가요?
착한 척 열심히 하더니 역시 원수가 많았나 보네.
Ignoring Mary's super acting, Officer Jean keeps his focus on June.
이가 호텔의 현임 책임자시죠? 전 사장님께 연밥죽을 배달한 사람은 누굽니까?
Before you can think of how to respond, Manager the one who is standing to the side suddenly jumps up.
제가 누군지 알고 있어요. 잠시만요. 자, 여기에 있습니다.
A few minutes later, Manager the one rushes back into the lobby, dragging a person behind him. He brings the person over to Officer Zhang and points his finger square at the person.
정경관님, 이 사람이 바로 전 사장님의 연밥죽을 만든 셰프예요. 전 그냥 요리하는 사람일 뿐입니다. 제가 감히 손님이 드실 음식에 이상한 걸 넣었겠습니까? 사장님, 제 말을 좀 들어주세요. 정말 억울합니다.
The chef crouches on the ground and cries loudly until the people outside the hotel could hear. We're not accusing you of anything. We just want to learn more about the situation.
전 그냥 연밥죽을 가져다 드렸을 뿐 아무것도 하지 않았습니다. 그리고 연밥죽은 오랫동안 전 사장님 방에 있었는데 누가 거기다 뭐 했는지 제가 어떻게 압니까?
갑자기 생각난 게 있어요. 전에 호텔 로비 사진을 찍고 있었는데 셰프님이 뭔가를 들고 2층 전 사장님 방으로 가는 걸 봤어요.
He raises his eyebrow as if suddenly remembering something, then points the finger at Marius.
그리고 얼마 후 여기 유 회장님 역시 그 방에 들어갔던 것 같아요.
He went into Boschion's room. Marius failed to mention that in your prior conversation. If what journalist Pierce said is true, Marius deliberately hid that fact from you. However, if Luke has purposely thrown false clues around, things are getting complicated.
저기요, 기자라고 함부로 말하지 마요. 내가 내일 당장 신문사 문 닫게 하는 수가 있어요.
유 회장님이 이렇게 위협적인 태도로 나오시는 거 보니 찔려서 그러는 것 같은데요.
찔린다고? 저 기자라는 사람이 날 모욕하고 있다는 생각 안 들어요? 윤 통역사님, 통역사님도 절 의심하고 있는 것 같은데요.
아니요. 전 윤 통역사가 우리 형성무역회사를 대표해서 합리적인 의문을 제기하고 있다고 생각합니다. 근데 유 회장님은 강 기자님이 말씀하신 것에 대해서 입장 표명은 하지 않으실 생각이십니까?
입장 표명은 무슨? 전 사장 방에 들어갔다고 해서 무조건 범인이 되는 겁니까? 증거를 가져오세요. 그렇지 않습니까? 정경관님?
유 회장님의 말이 맞습니다. 뭐든지 일단 증거가 있어야 하는 법이죠. 지금의 이런 복잡한 상황을 고려했을 때 호텔 전체 투숙객을 상대로 소지품 검사를 해야겠습니다. 다른 단서가 나오는지 봐야죠. 반대하시는 분 계십니까?
전 이견 없습니다.
저도 좋습니다.
Yeah, the Lee Hotel will offer its full cooperation.
당연하죠. 저희도 최대한 빨리 진실에 대해 알고 싶습니다.
마음껏 뒤져보시죠. 도대체 뭘 찾아낼 수 있다는 건지 보고 싶군요.
The rest of the guests who stayed in the hotel also agreed to cooperate with the investigation. Officer Zhang looks around satisfied with your cooperation.
좋습니다. 최대한 빨리 수사를 진행하도록 하겠습니다. 여러분도 당분간 허주 마을을 떠나지 말고 협조 바랍니다.
Judging by what Officer Zhang said, as long as you stay in Zhuzhou town, your movements won't be restricted. Officer Zhang, can I visit Boss Xiang's room one more time? I feel like I didn't look closely enough during the prior search, and I want to go back and see if I miss any details.
가능은 하지만 조심하셔야 합니다. 방에 아직 증거물이 남아있으니까요.
그럼 저도 사장님과 함께 가도록 하죠.
저도 갈래요. 증거 사진을 아직 못 찍어서 현장에 못 찍은 것들을 찍으러 가야겠어요.
저도 당연히 동참입니다.
그럼 나도 갈래요. 이따가 아무것도 모르는 상태로 억울하게 용의자로 몰리기는 싫다고요.
A crackle sounds as the familiar noise of static starts up again. And along with it comes a familiar voice. Surprise! There's a special surprise for this phase as well. The following questions may help you with your theories. Have a good look. Consultant Wing, you seem to be very specific about how you speak and work. Are you like this at home as well? To be honest, Consultant Wing and Mr. Wing are really not that different from each other. I'm not that uptight out of work. I see. What do you do in your free time outside of work? I like to walk around Zhuzhou town and visit various places. There are many places in Zhuzhou town that are worth seeing. The marketplace filled with fireworks, for example, or the beautiful outskirts. They're all lovely. They do sound very nice. Yes, it would be even better if the society here wasn't filled with so much conflict. Yeah. Looks like Consultant Wing is someone who hopes for some peace and quiet deep down inside. Little pause, in your time in Zhuzhou town so far, have you found anything that you like? Let me see. Well, I like the scenery here. Especially the clouds on the horizon. They have this dreamy color whenever the sun sets. It's mesmerizing. The clouds. What is it, Consultant Wing? Is there something special about the clouds? There is, actually. However, ordinary people aren't aware of this. Can you tell me about it? It's nothing, really. I'm just reminded of a secret document that I once came in contact with. The file has to do with an agent from a long time ago with the codename Cloudbreak. Huh? What's surprising is that the codename actually refers to the two different people. They were master and apprentice, savior and slave companions who shared a mutual love for one another. Why does this story feel so familiar? And how did things end for them? Sadly, the last parts of the file were destroyed, so I couldn't read them. From the existing records, they put themselves in danger in order to warn their other companions of the danger they were in. So the ending was probably... I'm merely listening to a story that Consultant Wing read about. Why am I feeling sad? I noticed that you sometimes take photos of pedestrians on the street, journalist Pierce. Are you into photography? Yes, taking photos is a way of recording our lives. Taking shots in daily life usually makes for good practice. It allows me to quickly snap good and useful photos when I'm chasing news. Then, what other hobbies do you have? Well, a lot actually. For example, writing letters is also one of my hobbies. Writing letters? Yeah, I feel totally calm when writing a letter. I'm able to clearly face my inner thoughts that way. I have a pen pal that I've written to for many years. It feels great whenever I communicate with them. It makes me feel at ease. Maybe it's because we've never met that I'm able to be much more open and honest in my letters. Yeah, I feel the same way. I never expected journalist Spears to have the same experience as I had. But I wonder who the pen pal I write to is. Little boss, seeing as we have some time now, I'd like to interview you. Journalist Spears, what questions do you have in mind? I'm writing an analysis regarding the news industry, so I'm hoping to assess what people from various fields think about the people working in the news industry. Thoughts on people working in the news industry? I'll have to think about that. This needs to be according to Chuchoton's situation, right? Take your time. There is no rush. Any comments are appreciated. I've had the habit of reading newspapers even before coming to Chuchotown. Why don't I use the newspapers I've read as examples? Sure, feel free. I feel that in recent years, reporters often use unfounded gossip for their editorial topics. It's always some scandal about a celebrity or about a successful business person's new girlfriend. Sometimes they even purposely try to exaggerate certain events by taking things out of context. I couldn't even find anything worth reading after a while. Whatever their excuse may be, whether it's timing or profits, none of them are reason enough to create false news. In my mind, anyone who writes in the news industry needs to have a firm list of principles that they stand by. They need to keep their values and priorities in check and search for the truth at all times. You're absolutely right. If truth is lost, then all that's left is falsehood. And people like us, or even the entire industry, would have no reason to exist. Interpreter Richter, I have a question for you. Oh, go on, I am listening. You often translate for foreign visitors, so you must have come in contact with many valuable items, right? I have seen a few. Are you asking if I can help appraise something for you, little boss? The watch that Boshan was wearing looked extremely expensive. I was just wondering if it was real. Do you recall the watch that I'm talking about? Yes, the dial of the watch on Boshan's wrist appeared to be made from crystals. It is an expensive piece. Boshan must have pulled quite a few strings to get his hands on that watch. But would it have been broken so easily if it really was that expensive? Is it normal for it to shatter into pieces like that? Are you implying that someone purposely broke the watch? Yes, if the theory stands, then it means that the murderer would have been able to change the time to 5 p.m. to make us think that the time of the murder was around 5 p.m. If that's the case, it would work to the benefit of the murderer. wouldn't it? But, little boss, have you ever thought about what good this would do for the murderer? He already got what he came for. There would be no need to make things even more complicated, no? Interpreter is just right, but something feels off. Or am I just overthinking it? Little boss, I have a rather troubling question on my mind. I would like to hear your thoughts about it. Oh, something that's concerning enough to trouble even you? Yes, it is about the children at the hospital. Stability is not something that has been seen in years. With things in constant chaos, I have seen countless children forced to survive on their own for all sorts of reasons. I have tried to do what I can to help the kids. I realize that money may bring them a filling meal, but it cannot change their fate of drifting further and further away from society. So that has begun to form in my mind. What does it take to really truly help them? Everything that I have done seems so menial. Is what I have done enough? That's a very complex question. I'm not sure what to say. It is alright. I just want to know what you really think. There's only so much we can do as ordinary people ourselves. But I think helping others is a good thing, no matter how big or small the gesture. The ultimate result that it brings is also something that you shouldn't be fixated on. As long as we help in ways that we are capable of, genuinely provide help for the children, then they will definitely feel your good intentions and remember it in their heart. Would that be enough? Maybe it's not, but you will continue doing more precisely because you are aware of it. I think that's a good thing. I do think that there is logic in what you said. President Van Hagen, I have something I'd like to ask you about. Are you free? What is it, little boss? I just want to see what you think about the Mayfly Association. Why do you want to know about that all of a sudden? I don't have any connections to the Mayfly Association, do I? It's just a passing thought. I want to hear what people in Town think about the Mayfly Association. I can't say I've given them much thought, but what I can say is that I do approve of some of their beliefs. Oh? For example, they are strict in their oversight of business owners, stopping them from participating in illegal behavior. That's a very good thing. If the business owners all stray onto different questionable paths with only their own interests in mind, then the effect on the development of Shusha will be detrimental. You're very clearly someone with a great vision, President Van Hagen. Likewise, you're quite the character yourself, little boss. However, the Mayfly Association seems to be lacking in its judgment of character. How so? They say that Boston is a member of the Mayfly Association, right? If someone like him was allowed to join the association, then what other reason could there be? He's capable of connecting everything to Boston. Oh, President Van Hagen. You've been in Town for some time now, little boss. Have you tried the specialty cuisine here? I've been busy the entire time, so I haven't had a chance to look around. Any recommendations, President Van Hagen? Oh, there are far too many. Town is a transport hub. Delicious cuisine from all around can be found here. But as for specialties, I think the seafood here takes the cake. Seafood? There are several seafood shops on Yuying Pier. They prepare all kinds of freshly caught fish. You'll always get the freshest batch there. Oh, and if you tell them you're with me, they'll even serve you for free. I say, those aren't your shops, are they? You're not trying to promote your own business right now, are you? Oh no, definitely not. Those are my honest recommendations. If you're not big on fish, there are also other specialty shops in the association. Candy, pastries, makeup, clothes, you name it. Just let me know whatever it is that interests you. He just denied it, and now he's promoting nearly everything they own. Thank you, President Van Hagen. I'll definitely take a proper look at the Van Hagen shops when I get the chance. Okay. Why are you staring at me, little boss? Never seen a retro television before? I just think that your style is a little different from the rest of ours. Huh? Which part? Everything? And whose fault do you think that is? It's a miracle that I've been able to remain sane after meeting you all. What are you talking about? I haven't said anything yet. Intel 9. Write letters. Writing letters is one of journalist Pierre's favorite hobbies. At the same time, he has a pen pal who has written to him for many years. Intel 8. Image in private. Consultant Wing is much more relaxed in private and not as strict as where he deals with business. In his spare time, he likes to take walks in Suzhou to clear his mind. Intel 2. Children in Need. Interpreter Richter has helped the children of the relief hospital in his own way, but it also troubled him because he knew that his help was only temporary. It did nothing to change their fate. Intel 6. Drug. Someone drugged his bowl of sweet lotus soup with sedative on the day of the incident. Damaged watch. A watch belonging to Pashan. Intel Wall Crystal Bellflower Dial. The dial appears to be made of crystal, which is valuable and difficult to damage accidentally. Intel 3. Report illegal behavior. Mayfly Association members are committed to monitoring the illegal activities of merchants, reporting illegal business, helping the foreign police, and making Jujaton a better place. The cabinet wasn't thoroughly searched because there wasn't enough time. Now that you have another opportunity, you retrace your memories and open the drawers you missed before. There are 3 safes. You won't be able to open them. They're all locked. Maris is standing not too far away. He speaks without looking up. You give it a try, but it's just as he said. It seems like a special key is required to open it. How'd you know? You look at him with suspicion. He stands up and avoids eye contact. It was just a guess. Really? Really? Marius gives you his response and quickly walks away to search somewhere else. How did he know? Various thoughts fly through your mind. You take a closer look at the sieve in front of you, trying to see if you can spot any secrets from the outside. Come take a look at this, Consultant Wing. You spot a strange marking. It reminds you of the ring blade that you and Artem found before. Do you think that this could be done with a ring blade? Artem runs his finger over the marking on the box, tracing it from the lock to the top of the box. The marking is extremely obvious. It does look like it was done by the ring blade. The person that did it tried to force the lock open, but failed. Force the lock open? Who could it be? Could it be the murderer? Do you know what's in Bastian's safe? No, but Manager Duan might. You and Artem find Manager Duan and inform him about the situation. After listening to you, he shakes his head helplessly. I'm sorry, I do not have the keys. Those are safes that Bastian had custom made. Nobody knows about the contents that are stored inside. Even when he leaves them at home, no one is allowed to touch them. Also, the 3 keys are kept separately. No one other than Bastian knows their whereabouts. They are that important? Then why would he bring them here? Yeah, I found that odd as well. But it's not our place to be questioning Bastian. It doesn't seem like Manager Duan has any more useful information. You and Arthur walk to the side. Seems like the contents of the safes are extremely important. If only we knew where the keys were. Yes, we will need to keep our eyes open in the following investigations. Maybe we'll be able to find the keys. Phew. After the long search for clues, you feel slightly fatigued and sit down on the sofa to rest and sort out your thoughts. Just as you're about to lean back on the sofa, a hard object presses against your waist. What is that? You stand up to look for the object between the sofa cushions. You then discover a booklet. Well, looks like it's my lucky day. You open the booklet and don't find anything special about its contents. The only thing worth looking into is a clipping from the usual daily that's placed between the pages. This is an obituary. The obituary is from half a month ago, just before Bosley went missing. The timing feels suspicious and catches your attention. A descendant of the Lee family suffered a heart attack while visiting the Young family and unfortunately passed away. We are filled with grief and sorrow. Why is the obituary so strange? If it were a normal obituary, shouldn't it include the name and other basic information of the deceased? But there's nothing there. It barely mentions anything. Could it be that the obituary isn't the main point? The main point is... What are you focusing so hard on, little boss? Before you realize it, Interpreter Richter appears next to you and takes the clipping. He then begins to read. Could this be a special way that the Mayfly Association uses to communicate with one another? He thinks out loud, then hands the clipping back to you. Huh? How would he know that? Is he connected to the Mayfly Association? No, if he were a member of the Mayfly Association, he wouldn't tell me that this is the secret way they use to communicate with each other. Oh, and why do you think this would have information regarding the Mayfly Association, Interpreter Richter? Isn't this just an ordinary clipping? When did Consultant Wing get here? I stumbled upon the knowledge of the Mayfly Institution favoring such methods of communication. There might be a hint in here somewhere. What is it hinting at? Vin looks at the obituary again. He then shakes his head. Like I said, it was just a guess. Do you expect results from mere theories, Consultant Wings? The atmosphere grows tense, and you quickly interrupt their conversation. Why don't we hold on to it and take a look at it again later? You grab the clipping out of Vin's hand and put it away. This is when you realize that there is a letter behind the clipping. The only thing in the letter is a drawing of a person wearing a straw hat fishing by himself. This is the old man with the straw rain hat, the old man alone on a raft fishing in the winter snow. The poem from your memories has gained a special meaning ever since you found out about your identity. Could it be that this is a secret message left for me? But what is it trying to tell me? With that in mind, you look to Finn again, but he doesn't react. As you look further into the distance, you notice Artem staring at the clipping in your hand. Your eyes meet, but he doesn't look away. He nods and finally turns around. Could it be Consultant Wing? Although the body has been moved somewhere else, the air is still filled with a faintly unpleasant smell. You walk through the closet in an attempt to search for clues that you've missed. Little boss, come here. Look at what I found. Marius discovers a suitcase at the bottom of the closet. He opens it to find a chipao inside. Huh? This is... Not only is the chipao trendy and of a great quality, but it's also wrapped in a beautiful ribbon. It's clearly a present that was waiting to be gifted to someone. Is this a gift for someone? This is the newest design on the market. It must have cost a fortune. The old man is quite a spender. President Van Hagen, you seem to understand quite a bit about chipaos. A bit, I suppose. I've attended a lot of social business gatherings and I've seen my fair share. I feel like I've seen this design somewhere before, but... Luke looks at the purple chipao and falls deep into thought. The word seems to be on the tip of his tongue, but he shakes his head and remains silent. Never mind, I must have been mistaken. Why did journalist Pierce have such a strange expression on his face? Could there be some kind of hidden message behind the chipao? Marius runs his finger across the ribbon and a mischievous smile appears on his face. Too bad, it looks like Bastian's lady friend is never going to receive this surprise. Ever since Manager Duan revealed their relationship, Marius has been very straightforward and sarcastic about it. Consultant Wing, you've accompanied the old man to many banquets and events, so you must know who she is, right? To my knowledge, Madame Liu of the Hongshan Dance Hall and Bastian seems to be more than just ordinary friends. Arthur speaks gently and directs the topic in a new direction. The Hongshan Dance Hall, the dancing place. It's not just a place to dance, it's the most popular dance hall of all the Zhuzhou town. Madame Liu is Hongshan Dance Hall's star singer right now. A good number of people from Zhuzhou town are in love with her voice. Ah, now that you mention it, I remember now. You're talking about the lady known for her golden voice, aren't you? There have been scandals involving her and Bastian for a while. Journalist Pierce speaks with palpable excitement. However, rumor has it that Madame Liu and Bastian have grown distant in recent years. I thought they were just meaningless rumors, but from the look of things, it doesn't seem like she was invited to the birthday banquet. Seems like the rumors aren't entirely false. Although Marius looks to be talking about unrelated gossip, in reality he has actually introduced new characters and locations to the conversations. Madame Liu, a woman who shares a past with Boss Chan. I wonder what her story is. Is what Marius said really the reason why she wasn't invited to the birthday banquet? And most importantly, a rising suspicion grows as you look at Artem, who is focused on searching for clues. Consultant Wing seems to accompany Boss Chan at business gatherings and banquets often. So, wouldn't he know where Boss Chan will be at all times? Did he purposely mention Madame Liu to misdirect me? However, no matter what his intentions are, it seems like I'll have to pay a visit to the Hongshan Dance Hall. Fiddler Spirits, do you still remember where you saw the identical Chipao gift box? You seem to be very interested in it. I wouldn't say I'm interested, I'm just a little surprised. Luke's brow stands up slightly. It looks like he's trying to recall something. The last time I saw this Chipao was also at the Lee Hotel. It was in the same luxury suite that Boss Chan met his demise in. You're the one that's feeling surprised now. Can you be more specific? I think it was about 3 years ago. It wasn't long after I first became a reporter. A senior reporter from the news agency brought me along to attend the birthday banquet for Boss Yang from the Guangjie Union. I remember it vividly. Boss Yang's wife was wearing the exact same purple chipao in the Lee Hotel and also at the birthday banquet. What is the Guangjie Union? The Guangjie Union is an association that connects people from all places. You can see it as a business organization larger than the association. Boss Yang, the person that runs the organization, made his fortune by doing business. As his business got bigger, numerous smaller merchants began to rely on him for business. And thus, the Guangjie Union was formed. Not like he's not aware of the secrets behind the Guangjie Union. You play along, making a sudden gasp. It sounds like a really large organization. Not only is the Guangjie Union large, but it also controls half of Suzhou economy. And the rest? Half of the rest is controlled by President Van Hagen's Business Association, and the other half is the group formed by people surviving off the benefiting network of the Guangjie Union, known as the Mayfly Association. You're not sure if Luke is doing it on purpose or if you're just feeling guilty. He stops to look at you as if he's waiting for you to say something. The factions in Jujutsu are really complicated. So what you're saying is that the Mayfly Association, the Association, and the Guangjie Union have been butting heads for a long time? Yep, so as you can see, little boss, it's not easy doing business in Jujutsu Town. Thank you, Journalist Spears. I'll watch out. Oh, and you said that Boss Yang's wife was wearing that purple chipao at the birthday banquet. Then does that mean that Boss Yang saw it too? Is that why he wanted to have the same chipao at his own birthday banquet? No, Yingjin Trading Company wasn't big enough at the time to catch Boss Yang's attention. Boss Yang wasn't even on the invitation list. Besides, Boss Lee was the one that personally went over the invitations. I wasn't there when he did it. You sound like you knew Uncle Lee quite well. Boss Lee was a good person. When I was a reporter, I often missed meals when I was chasing news. Whenever I hung around the Lee Hotel for interesting news, he would always bring food for me to eat. He would always say, "Young man, you've got a long road ahead of you. Health should always come before work." But now, although the Lee Hotel is still the same as it was before, the owner is no longer the same. The world remains the same, but those in it come and go. People and things are often not as simple as they appear to be. I have another warning for you, little boss. My instincts as a reporter tell me that Boss Chan says is not as simple as the Jianjing Gang seeking revenge. You should be careful. His gaze changes into one of weariness and concern. This is no longer an ordinary conversation. It's just as he said, it's a warning. Although you're unsure whether he is speaking from his heart or if it's the kindness of journalist tears, you nod anyway in response. Thank you, I'll be careful. Consultant Wing, you recognize that obituary as a secret message from the Mayfly Association as well, didn't you? Artem looks at you and nods after a long pause. I know a thing or two about it. As far as I know, the people from the Mayfly Association employ special methods of contacting their partners. However, these methods aren't exactly hard to notice, therefore the message they contain aren't crucial either. So it wouldn't matter even if ordinary people saw it. His resolute tone suggests that he has already formed a theory in his mind. However, his attitude toward this makes you feel like he already knows a little about how things in the Mayfly Association work. Strange, is that all he wants to tell me? Maybe I should probe further. I've only just arrived in Juzhou town. There's a lot I don't know. Consultant Wing, what kind of organization is the Mayfly Association? Why does it seem like a lot of people talk about it, but it's so mysterious at the same time? Artem presses his lips together and smiles. From my point of view, the Mayfly Association is not mysterious at all. It's just that things are a mess right now. The influential powers in and out of Juzhou town are complicated, and many things remain unstable. There are many things that can't be done openly. For example, if people knew about how much money the Yingjing Trading Company makes a year, or if someone unrelated found out about how business is going at the Lee Hotel, it may cause unnecessary trouble. I can understand what you're saying. I don't. In all honesty, I think they're just a group of people that have gathered under a certain belief. They're just ordinary people who hope to do something for the people of Juzhou town. There are no envoys of justice. There are just people who are doing what they can. Just ordinary people? Yes, ordinary, decent people with a sense of justice. You can feel a level of approval in Consultant Wing's tone. It seems genuine. So, I guess at least Consultant Wing isn't fully on the side of the opposition. I understand what you mean. He seems to be comforted by your approval. The smile on his face widens. That's good. Interpreter Richard, you seem to be very informed about the events that took place in Juzhou town. Oh, and what makes you think so, little boss? Vince's golden eyes are as calm as usual. It's as if your inquiry isn't even a question to him. When I found the newspaper clipping in the guest room before, your view of it was very unique. I don't think someone could have such a deep understanding unless they were on top of the news and familiar with the moving pieces in Town. If you believe so, then I suppose it is true. Vince's answer, Vince's answer is ambiguous. He neither admits nor denies your assumption. After all, I have only taught in Jeju for half a year. Naturally, I would pay more attention to the surroundings of my students so that I can get to know them better. I do have a theory regarding the clipping. Are you interested in hearing it? You eagerly nod. Of course, please do share, Interpreter Richter. I am assuming that you are curious as to why I am capable of recognizing the obituary as a message left by a Mayfly Association member, am I right? Your heart skips a beat and you fail to reply in time. Vin continues as if he already heard your answer. People always say that seeing is believing, but sometimes seeing the real thing does not mean that it is real. For example, the obituary clipping. Formulating those words in a different order will form a completely different message when using the same pattern. This is a typical coded communication technique. I believe that the Mayfly Association members all have a decoder in their possession. The obituary text will mean something different when referenced with their decoder. Words that do not look to be of any importance might be extremely vital to the person decoding them. During his intentional pause, you finally find a loophole in his words. So if we go according to what you just said, this is a common quote. Then why would you, Interpreter Richter, be so sure that it's from the Mayfly Association? Is it simply because Boss John was a member of the Mayfly Association? Yes, that is definitely an extremely important factor. However, it is merely a theory with no evidence to back it up. Just take it as something you heard in passing. I just think that in Town, only the members of the Mayfly Association need to use a secretive method to communicate due to their hidden identity of movement. Besides, even if I am right, we will only be able to find out the secrets within after we have found the decoder. So for me, everything is just speculation at this point. Was it really just a guess? I suspect that you are trying to fool me, but I have no proof of it. But there is still one other question. Are you not curious about what the drawing on the other piece of paper means? The drawing is of an old man fishing by himself. This was a message sent from an unknown companion. You're not sure why it was in Boss John's possession. However, all you can do is pretend to be curious in front of Interpreter Richter. Is this another one of the Mayfly Association's way of sending messages? Vin looks up and gazes calmly into your eyes. No, I am unable to ascertain that. However, the drawing is neither a famous piece nor is it a valuable heirloom. Why would someone with Boss John's resources place such a worthless drawing in his collection? Maybe it would not be too bold to assume that it is some kind of important clue. And that is why Boss John had it in such a safe place. Maybe it was even the reason for the tragedies to follow. You keep the expressions on your face in check. All you can do is go along with the conversation and try to end it as soon as possible. That does make sense. Seemingly having read your mind, Vin stops pressing further. This is so difficult. but it's way harder to wring out information from Inspector Richter. President Van Hagen, you lied. When we went to Boss Chan's room to investigate, that wasn't your first time in that room, was it? Maris raises his brow and laughs. Of course not. Come on, little boss. Stop accusing me of things. If I recall correctly, you were on the other side of the closet when we all went to the house last time. You wouldn't have had a chance to check the drawers on your own. Jeez, how are you able to remember such a precise detail? Your memory is honestly something else. He seems to be trying to change the subject with his usual tricks. However, you don't plan on letting him off the hook this time. So, if you never had the opportunity to be around the drawers, how did you know that the safes inside the drawer would be locked, President Van Hagen? It was just a guess. You said there were safes, and naturally, safes would be locked. No, if you were just guessing, then it wouldn't have sounded so natural. If my theory is correct, you were in Boss Chan's room before 5 p.m. and opened the drawer as well. What were you doing in that room? Were you talking to Boss Chan about some secret business? I regret doing what I did. I won't give you any more kind reminders from now on. Everything would have been fine if I had just kept my mouth shut. So, am I right? Mary sighs helplessly. Yes, I went over in the afternoon. I got into an argument with old Chan in the lobby. I kept thinking about it and it only made me angrier. Then I barged into his room to continue the conversation. It's an understandable move, alright? You are aware of my past with that old man, right? It's true, with President Van Hagen's explosive temper, barging into Boss Chan's room to argue with him is something that's likely to happen. But he just had to barge into a room where a murder took place in. Are you talking about your family residence being taken away? Yes, I didn't finish explaining it to you last time. My father realized that he had been swindled and fell ill from his anger. He passed away soon after. My mother didn't make it over the hurdle either. She joined him shortly later. He pauses while carrying a dark look on his face. After I grew up, I spent a lot of time investigating the matter and found out that Jian was the one messing with the deal back then. He thinks that my family residence is in a good location and can be sold for a good price. However, my father wasn't willing to sell, and so came the rest of the story. Don't you agree that I should at least be able to ask him about it face to face after I found out the truth? Although it was posed like a question, Maris does not give you time to answer. Jan used to live in my family residence. His business hasn't been doing so well recently, so the idea of selling my family home crossed his mind again. That's why he moved out. However, he somehow got the money from someone else and his business got back on track. He then donated my family residence to maintain his reputation. Someone would have to be crazy to think they could get away with something like that. I see, so you entered Boss Chan's room to stop him from donating the family residence? That's right. When I entered the room, I saw him opening the drawer to lock the safe. The old man was furious that I had barged in. How ridiculous. This time, Maris admits to it extremely willingly. I see, so that's how you knew. But why didn't you just tell me? Maris coughs and fiddles with his thumb ring. It looks like he is purposely avoiding your question. Because of his action, your attention is drawn to his thumb ring again. The uneven metal surface of his ring reinforces your theory. The strange scratch on Boss Chan's hand, was there left from your argument with him? You were worried that your presence in the room and the argument with Boss Chan would be used as evidence against you. Is that why you didn't want to tell me? Maris coughs again. However, this time he sounds a little nervous. You've already figured everything out, little boss. What else are you expecting me to say? Looks like I was right on the money. With obituary, a newspaper clipping of an obituary, intertwined method of communication. Members of the Mayfly Association have a habit of using code words to convey messages. Obituaries in newspaper clipping may be a way for members to convey messages to each other. Intel 2 Code Book Decipher. Obituaries in newspaper clippings are a special form of coded communication that require a corresponding code book to decipher correctly. An unsigned obituary in the Jujua Daily reads as follows. Our ancestor Lee, living in a young residence, died the day before yesterday due to a heart attack. He is survived by an ungrateful son, visibly distraught and grief-stricken. The funeral will be held today. After cremation, the ashes will be laid to rest in the Lee residence outside the Jujua town. High-end cheongsam, a cheongsam of novel style and excellent quality. Intel 1, same style cheongsam. Boss Chan might have seen Boss Young's wife wear a high-end cheongsam and purchased the same one for his confidante. Inside the luggage is an exquisite cheongsam of novel style and excellent quality wrapped with a high-end ribbon. Doodle paper, a drawing on letter paper attached to the back of the obituary. In Taiwan, message from companion. The scribble in the letter was a message to Little Boss from other Mayfly Association members, but for some reason Interpreter Richter seems to notice. A stick figure drawing of an old man fishing alone. The picture is simple with no excess decorations, almost like a doodle. Boshan hid it for some reason. Little Boss. Intel 3 Snow River, a straw clockman in a lonely boat fishing for snow on a cold river alone. This may seem like a familiar verse on the surface, but it contains a code word with a special meaning for Little Boss. Intel 6, seen the Cheongsam. But 3 years ago, a journalist Spears had just become a reporter when he attended Boss Young's birthday banquet, a member of the Guangzhou Union with his master. Boss Young's wife wore the same purple cheongsam. Intel 7. Boss Lee's warmth. When journalist Spears had just become a reporter, he often neglected to adhere to his word. Every time he squatted near the Lee Hotel to chase the next story, Boss Lee would bring him food. Intel 6 accompany Boss Chan. Consultant Win often accompanies Boss Chan to attend a variety of banquets. He seems to know a lot of Boss Chan's private matters. Intel 7 familiar with the Mayfly Association. Interpreter Richter is very familiar with the Mayfly Association, knowing exactly how they deliver information. Intel 2 Death of Parents. President Von Hagen's father, realizing that he had been scammed, was so furious that he came down with illness and passed away. Shortly after, President Von Hagen's mother passed away due to depression. Intel 2 Philanthropist. When journalist Spears had just become a reporter, he often neglected to adhere to his word. Every time he squatted near Lee Hotel to chase the next story, Boss Lee would bring him food. Madame Liu, a popular singer at the Hongshan Dance Hall. A popular singer in Huangshan dancehall with many great hits, there were once rumors of an affair with Boss Chan and they have a close personal relationship. Intel 4 Mayfly Association member. Boss Chan was a member of the Mayfly Association and possessed many things related to it. Intel 14 Custom Safe. Boss Chan had a custom-made safe in his possession, which required three keys to open. The three keys were kept separately, and no one other than Boss Chan knew where the keys were kept. There must be something very important inside. Boss Yang, the Guangzhou Union boss. Boss Yang built his business from the ground up. As his business grew, many smaller businesses relied on him. Thus, the Guangzhou Union was formed. Today, the Guangzhou Union holds half of the town's power. Intel 1 newspaper cipher. Placing a small person's notice or an obituary in a small newspaper to convey a message requires the corresponding code book to decipher said message. Guangzhou Union, one of the larger commercial groups in Yuzhou Intel control of economic lifeline. Yuzhou is situated at the intersection of three cities, making it convenient to engage in transactions which include the reselling of treasures, illegal businesses, and selling information. Their collusion with profiteers make it hard to take advantage of them. Guangzhou Union is the largest business organization in Sichuan. On the surface, it is a reputable business that does some charity work. In fact, it specializes in shady businesses. Huangshan Dance Hall, the best dance hall in Sichuan. Huangshan Dance Hall is known as the best dance hall in Sichuan. At night, the dance hall is lit up with gorgeous lights as young couples in love sing and dance, making it the epitome of nightlife in Suzhou. The deceased had access to a lot of internal information about the Mayfly Association, which is inferred that he may also be a member. You look around to find Artem talking to an employee in a hidden corner. The person he is talking to stands in the shadows with their face concealed. What's even odder is that Artem seems to have taken something out of his pocket to hand to the person. Consultant Wing, what's he doing? You make your way over as quickly as best possible, but the person Artem was talking to swiftly leaves the scene. Consultant Wing, what were you? Oh, that was just an employee that works here. I was trying to see if they had any valuable information. So, did you get anything? Unfortunately, no. He looks to be at ease. You begin to suspect that you are imagining things. I'm pretty sure he just handed something over though. Let's go look around some more. You not push your doubts to the back of your mind and continue with the investigation. Dance hall bar area. Some people do possess an aura that elevates them from the rest, even when they are surrounded by a crowd. This goes for Madame Liu as well. You briefly introduce yourself. She gently swirls the champagne in her glass, glances at you, and begins to speak softly. So, the new owner of the Li Hotel, what business do you have with me? Well, it's about Boss Chan. You carefully select a few details from the murder case that you feel are appropriate to share. She remains silent for a while, then places the glass back on the table. Although she still has a smile on her face, her fluctuating emotions are exposed by the ripples in her drink. Are you okay? She shakes her head and finishes the rest of her drink in one swift gulp. She then sits upright and looks at you. You said you had something to ask. Go on, ask away. Madam Liu, I've heard that you had a close relationship with Boss John, so why did you not attend the birthday banquet? A close relationship? Is that how everyone views us? She bows her head, mumbling to herself. She seems to be making great effort to suppress her emotions before looking up once more. I wanted to go, but the Boss John told me not to. He must have had an appointment with someone that he didn't fully trust. That's why he told me not to attend. An appointment with someone? Could it have been President von Hagen? In addition, Madame Liu revealed more important information with her words, and you immediately recalled the good kiss from earlier. Is it true that Boss Chen entrusted you with something important? Oh, I suspected of the next owner of the Lee Hotel. You're very sharp for someone your age. How did you guess? Boss Chen specifically asked you not to go, which means he didn't want you or something in your possession to be discovered by the people at the banquet. I'm guessing he kept some kind of ace in the hole in your possession. That way, he wouldn't lose everything even when faced with people he didn't trust. Very clever. That's probably what he had in mind when he gave it to me. Unfortunately, he still ended up losing it all. Her mood sinks again at this point. After a while, she pats her face a few times, then retrieves a packet of files from the nearby dressing room. Since he's gone, his ace in the hole doesn't matter anymore. You can have it. You had already prepared a long argument to persuade Madame Liu, but her candidness leaves you speechless. Didn't you say you were searching for the killer? Maybe this will prove helpful. Thank you. Since Madame Liu put it like that, you don't hesitate to open the file bag. This is when you take out the items Madame Liu signs. It doesn't seem like anything particularly valuable, just a key and some gold nuggets. Upon closer inspection, the gold nuggets have special marks on them, and the pattern on the key seems to match the lock cylinder on the code keys. But you can't confirm anything until you get back. Thank you, Madame Liu. I will go back and look over everything once again. Madame Liu nods, acquiescing to your idea. You seem to trust me, or perhaps it was Boss Shen that you trusted. What do you mean? After all, this was something that Boss Shen entrusted to you. It must be very important. And yet you handed it over to me so easily. Are you not afraid of what unspeakable secrets it might lead to? He's not that type of man. I know that with his status and power, there's no way that Boss Shen's hands would have been completely clean. But in all the years I've been with him, I've never seen him do anything awful. How could this happen? With a gentle sigh, he motions for the bartender to pour her another drink, which she promptly gulps down. Swallowed along with the drink are her unspoken sorrow and melancholy, all to be consumed by silence. Alright, that would be all the questions I have. Thank you, Madame Liu. It's okay, I hope to catch the murderer as soon as possible too. Just as you're about to turn around and leave, you notice Madame Liu's hesitation. It's as if there is something else she wants to tell you. Is there anything else? Is the murderer really from the Jianjing gang? I'm sorry, I'm not sure yet. I suppose it'd be a good thing if it really was one of them. They're the ones responsible for ruining Jujuatom. Maybe this is the perfect time to get rid of them. She seems to be muttering to herself and ignores your response. She begins to drink again. Before leaving, you turn around to look at her again. This time, you notice that her thin and lonely stature stands out, looking out of place in an area filled with strings, song, and dance. As you enter the Hongshan dance hall, you immediately see countless customers and a songstress dressed up and singing a tune on stage. Men and women are enjoying themselves and dancing on the dance floor. The most popular dance hall in all of Yuzhou town really does live up to its name. Where would Madame Liu be? You look around but fail to spot her. You approach an employee that's cleaning up. Excuse me, do you know where Madame Liu is? You're looking for Madame Liu? Young lady, I strongly advise you against stalking idols. No, you're mistaken. I'm the owner of the Li Hotel. I'm here to speak to Madame Liu about business. Action speaks louder than words, so you give him your business card. After taking a look at the card, the waiter's attitude instantly changes. So you're the little boss. I'm sorry, I did not recognize you. Madame Liu should be resting by the bar at this hour. Would you like me to take you there? It's alright. I can find it myself. After declining the waiter's offer to lead the way, you walk in the direction that he points you to. As you walk by the stage, you notice that a few people next to it aren't watching the performance. What could they be looking at? You follow their gazes. It looks like they are looking at a woman in a qipao sitting lazily at the bar. The silhouette of her back is enough to seduce a man. This person is worth every second spent looking at her. There's a unique, seductive air about her. Intel 1 trusts and entrusts. Botian entrusted Madame Liu with something extremely important, while Madame Liu also trusts him very much, believing him to be a good man. Intel 2 Confidante. Botian and Madame Liu of Hongshan Dance Hall had a close relationship and they seem to trust each other very much. Botian even gave something very important to Madame Liu for safekeeping. Intel 15 Trust and Entrust. Botian trusted Madame Liu completely and entrusted her with some items for safekeeping. He also instructed Madame Liu not to attend the birthday banquet that day. Intel 1 Mysterious Employee. The employee inside the dance hall seems to know Consultant Wing and they even talk in private. The deceased asked Madame Liu not to attend and entrusted her with some things as his is in the hole. Consultant Wing, you talked with an employee but at the dance hall, didn't you? I saw you hand something to that person. Sometimes the best way to deal with doubt is to face it head-on. And so you immediately find and inform Artem about your concerns after returning to the hotel. Were you making some kind of a deal with him? Artem frowns and looks somewhat at a loss. I didn't give him anything. Madame Liu sent him to look for me to deliver a message saying that she wanted to talk to me in private. Did Consultant Wing and Madame Liu make contact in private? But I don't remember him going off by himself. Now that you've told me about meeting Madame Liu on your own, are you willing to tell me what the two of you talk about? I told you because you asked. I wouldn't say I'm willing. He is chuckling, but there's a resigned look in his eye. Madame Liu told me that Boss Chan opened a vault in her name at a bank in Yuzhou Town. Boss Chan would visit the vault every once in a while to make withdrawals and deposits. Boss Chan left the contents with her the last time he made a withdrawal, but he's no longer around now. Madame Liu is worried that there won't be anyone tending to the remaining items in the vault. Coincidentally, she knows that I am familiar with the financial industry and have a few friends at the bank, so she just consulted me for a bit. Autumn responds with an honest tone, making it hard for anyone to believe he's lying. You continue discussing the topic at hand. Did Madame Liu want to talk about the ownership of the vault with you? Yes, I suppose you could say that. However, I needed time to speak with my friend at the bank before I could give her a reply. So we didn't really get into details at the time. Then does Madame Liu know what else is in the vault? Artem holds his chin in thought, the furrow between his brows deepening. Unfortunately, she doesn't. She only remembers that the last time the vault was opened was 5 days ago. 5 days ago, so that means Boss Chan accessed the vault recently, but nobody knows what he withdrew. Yes. Consultant Wing. You stare at Artem, trying to come up with something else to talk to him about. However, he is frowning and seemingly lost in his own thoughts, so he doesn't respond to you. It's clear that Consultant Wing has his own secrets. The information Artem is able to share is limited to the information that Consultant Wing is willing to share. Maybe I should find another time to speak to him. Little boss, why have you been staring at me ever since you got back to the hotel? Is there something on my face? The moment you step into the hotel, President Van Hagen welcomes you with a smile that you are all too familiar with. President Van Hagen, you've been at odds with Boss Chan for some time, so why were you willing to attend his birthday banquet? Wouldn't that be unpleasant for you? Obviously, it has to do with the Van Hagen family residence. The old man wants to donate it, so I was there to ruin the vibe. Are you finding my reason to be insufficient, little boss? Or do you think I'm the most suspicious person that was there that night? Marius is always at ease in the face of your suspicions. Was I wrong? He's not the person Boss Chan didn't fully trust that Madame Liu spoke of. Are you thinking that old Xian didn't dare invite Madame Liu because he asked for me to come here? You wanted to say no, that's not what I think, but the expression on your face betrays you. President Van Hagen sighs. Alright, I'm willing to share a piece of information with you so you can rid your mind of these pointless worries. Originally, Old Xian invited Boss Yang from the Guangjie Union to his birthday banquet. But as you can see, Boss Yang never came. So you're saying the person Madame Liu spoke of is Boss Yang, but Boss Yang wasn't on the VIP list, and the Yingjing Trading Company never mentioned anything about cooperation between Boss Xian and the Guangjie Union. To my knowledge, Boss Yang and Boss Xian are knew each other for a long time. The two often engaged in shady business together. Where did you get all this information from? I have my channels. Without information like this, it's impossible to do business nowadays. Marius does not directly answer your question. He merely adds a suggestive tone to his voice. If there are no other forces supporting the Yingyun Trading Company, then how were they able to make a name for themselves in just a few years? It's obvious, isn't it? Both Xian and Boss Yang are acquaintances. If the information he provides is true, then things have just gotten a lot more complicated. Boss Xian is a member of the Mayfly Association, but he's connected to the Guangzhou Union boss. Could that mean that in between it all? You don't believe me? President Van Hagen, whatever the case, the truth is that Boss Yang and the people from Guangzhou Union never showed up at the birthday banquet. How do you know that? What if they did show up, but you didn't know about it? There might be guests from the Guangzhou Union? That's just how it is with some people, little boss. They act differently when they are in front of different people. It's hard to tell who's sincere and who's not. You should be careful. President Van Hagen smiles as he speaks kindly. Although you are aware that part of it is just an act, it still doesn't stop you from feeling all fuzzy inside. But why are you really telling me this information? I don't have anything to give in exchange. Call it instinct, I guess. I felt a certain connection to you ever since I first saw you. That's why I wanted to help. Huh? When I was little, my family lost everything because of old Qian. I was so sad I squatched on the side of the street and cried. A little girl who was slightly older than me came over to comfort me. She even gave me a few purple bell flowers. I might just be imagining things, but I kept getting the feelings that you look very similar to the little girl in my memories. Purple bell flowers comforting a child. You recall that there was a dried petal in your purse when you first arrived at the Lee Hotel. The petal was from a bellflower. President Van Hagen, there are things you want to say, but Maris looks the other way and doesn't seem to want to continue the conversation. Could it be that great of a coincidence? You might feel that way, but once the seed of doubt is planted, it grows rapidly and becomes impossible to ignore. With the key from Madame Liu in hand, you immediately return to the guest room. After giving it a try, the key opened one of the boxes. The box opens with a click, and you discover a booklet and a stack of photos inside. What is this? The pictures are of various children in uniform. They're smiling at the camera with joy on their faces. A large Renhui Relief Hospital logo can be seen on their uniforms. You quickly recall that there is one half of a photograph in your purse that looks very similar to this one. However, the yellowed paper reminds you that the photo is from many years ago. The one in front of you looks rather new. It seems to have taken just a few years ago. These are kids from the Renhui Relief Hospital. Could it be that the photo I have is also of kids from Renhui Relief Hospital? But why would I have something like that? Put it away for now. Vin looks away after a slight glance at the photo. He has a complicated expression on his face. What's going on with him? You place the photo back in the box and open the booklet. Inside are verses of poems that are familiar to most, written with a fountain pen in handwriting that is mediocre at best. Each poem has the date of the entry written on the side. I don't see anything special about these poems. Maybe the poems are connected? Luke approaches without you noticing. He takes a look at the booklet and the gears in his head begin to turn. There doesn't seem to be a pattern. Without delay, the two of you bring the booklet to Manager Duan, hoping that he will know something about it. Manager Duan. Little boss, General Spears, what can I do for you two? Manager Duan is standing to the side with an empty case, though he looks much calmer than before. Do you know what this is? You give him the booklet. He quickly flips through it, looking unfazed. Oh, this? Boschan is big on maintaining his health. He said that reciting and writing famous poems of scholars of the past helps him ease his mind. Sometimes he would even bring the booklets to the relief hospital and read poems to the children. A nostalgic look appears on his face again. Seems like he's about to share his thoughts about the tragic loss of Boss Chan again. That's it. What does the date to the side mean? That's the date Boss Chan wrote down the poem. Each poem was written down at a different time. It takes time and patience to improve the body. You catch my drift? That's it. If it really were that simple, then why would this booklet be locked up? Well, I don't know. Manager Duan is unable to answer Luke's series of questions and waves his hand to show that he really didn't know anything. This is also the first time you've ever seen Luke behave this way. What's the matter, General Spears? It's nothing. There's a lot of information to digest. Let me process it first. You nod and watch as Luke walks to the side. General Spears, do you have something on your mind? Little boss, I was just wondering if all the investigations we've been doing recently mean anything. Maybe it'd be better if we handed the entire case over to Officer Zhang and waited patiently at the hotel. Luke has his head down. His eyes are clouded by conflict and hesitance. Did something happen? Not really, it's just that it feels like the more we investigate, the more complicated everything gets. I'm a little afraid. Whether it's the Luke that you know or the General Spears that you've just met, neither of them would ever feel hesitation like this. You capture the message he's trying to send you. Afraid? What happened? Can't you tell me about it? Do you still remember the person I told you about? The senior reporter that brought me to Boss Yan's birthday banquet 3 years ago? Yes. He's not with us anymore. He insisted on filming on site for an incident. I tried stopping him, but Did an accident happen during an investigation? General Spears hesitates to speak. He has a complicated expression on his face. That's all in the past now. It's not important anymore. All I want to say is, sometimes it's not so bad to stand on the sidelines and do what we can. You have to be extremely careful, especially when conflicts between different forces get involved. The police are already on the case anyway. Why not just hand the contents in the box to Officer Zhang and have him deal with it? Forces? His emphasis on the word is a clear signal. You mean the content inside Boss Chan's booklet may involve other forces? No, it's only a reminder of sorts. Before you can finish your sentence, Luke interrupts you and winks. His usual smile returns. You didn't hear anything from me, okay, little boss? Right. He didn't say anything, but his words suggested everything. It's obvious that in journalist Pierre's mind, the booklets inside Boschian's safe are definitely connected to his death. But are they really the reason for the tragedy that took place? More and more mysteries gather inside your mind, waiting for you to unravel the truth. You didn't look too good after seeing the photo just now, interpreted Richter. Is there something on your mind? The Relief Hospital? Vin seems immersed in his own thoughts and does not respond to you. You continue looking for other things to talk about, wanting to strike up a conversation. I remember you saying that you would occasionally go and visit the kids at the Relief Hospital. Oh, worry not, some thoughts just came over me when I saw the photo. Vin pauses, and the previous expression on his face is substituted by his usual faint smile. The Yinjin Trading Company has been providing unconditional financial support to the Relief Hospital these past couple of years. But now that Boschian is dead, the financial support may also be affected. So the photos that Boschian collected are from him helping the Relief Hospital? But if that's the case, why would Boschian not be in the photos himself? Could he be the one that's taking the photos? No, that doesn't make any sense. Just as you begin to ruminate over it, you notice that the voice by your ear has also disappeared. You look up to see Vin quietly looking at you, just as you were doing to him previously. Sorry, so you're worried about the children? I am simply unsure who will take over the Yinjin Trading Company and if that person will continue with some of Boschian's decisions. After all, no one can be certain of the future. What do you think, little boss? He looks to be really worried about the kids. Life throws curveballs at you. Hopefully, whoever takes over Yinjin will do the right thing. I hope so. Ledger, a ledger filled with transcript poems. A small booklet with poems that Boschian copied by hand, along with the dates he copied them. It seemed Boschian had a habit of copying poems, believing it could lead to better health. The content reads, why do the local birds migrate here? It brings up memories of my hometown. Copied May 23, 3 p.m. A solitary orchid grows in a secluded garden and all the grass is lost together. Copied June 3, 5 p.m. As the wild geese fly southwest, I ponder how to bid farewell to old friends. Copied June 20, 6 p.m. If the swallows and sparrows do not drink together, they will rise thousands of miles in the clouds. Copied July 7, 4 p.m. A stack of photograph in an envelope. Intel 1 Relief Hospital children. Some of the photos are new, while some of them are old and yellow. The photos seem to be taken in different years, but they are all children wearing the Renhui Relief Hospital uniform. A stack of photograph in an envelope. Intel 4 stayed at a relief hospital. Little Boss once stayed at a relief hospital. In her faint memories, she recalls a boy who kept telling fairy tales all the time. Intel 8 careful of the forces. Journalist Pierre's master got into an accident while investigating a story. This reminded journalist Pierce to watch out for conflicts and disputes between the forces, as if hinting at something. Intel 7 asks about vaults. In Hongshan Dance Hall, Madame Liu asks an employee to inform Consultant Wing that he wished to speak to him in private. Boss Chan opened a vault under Madame Liu's name at the bank in Juzha Town, but she wasn't sure what he kept inside. Now that Boss Chan was dead, Madame Liu inquired about the vault's right of ownership. Intel 8 particularly concerned about Relief Hospital. Jinshin Trading Company has been providing financial assistance to the Relief Hospital for many years. With Boss Chan dead, Interpreter Richter is particularly concerned about how that will affect the financial situation of the Relief Hospital and its children. Intel 3, a flower during childhood. Because President von Hagen's parents were scammed by Boss Chan, the von Hagen family fortune went into decline during President von Hagen's childhood. At the time, President von Hagen was very upset, crying alone on the roadside. Suddenly, a child came to confront him and even gave him a purple bellflower. Intel 6, make enemies with Boss Chan. President von Hagen knows he can't get back the ancestral land deed. In retaliation, he attended Boss Chan's birthday banquet to make Boss Chan uncomfortable. Intel 7 loves poetry. Boss Chan liked to stay healthy. One of his ways was to copy some famous poems written by predecessors, which he said could calm the mind. Sometimes he would take the collection of poems and read them to the children at the relief hospital. Intel 8 secret meetings. Boss Chan and Boss Yang of the Guangjie Union was very close and would even meet in secret. Intel 16 vault. Boss Chan opened a vault under Madame Liu name at the bank in Zhujiaton. Every so often, Boss Chan would visit a vault and deposit some items. The most recent visit was 5 days ago. Madame Liu isn't sure what he kept inside. Intel 1 secret meetings. Boss Chan and Boss Yang of the Guangjie Union were very close and would even met in secret. The deceased opened a vault under Madame Liu's name and entrusted her with his things. It seems the two had complete trust in each other. It seems President von Hagen and Little Boss have a past, and that affection has persisted to this day. President von Hagen was very enthusiastic because through Little Boss hand, he wanted to eradicate a number of people related to the disease. The deceased would donate to the relief hospital and visit the children often. Interpreter Richter is concerned about what will happen to the relief hospital now. The deceased conspired with the Guangjie Union as a means of deception. It's very likely that they have infiltrated in secret. The deceased never had any children but was particularly concerned about the children at the relief hospital. Maybe it's because he couldn't help children himself. Madame Liu adored Boss Chan and believed the little boss will find the killer. The The deceased was not loyal to the Mayfly Association and most likely had plans against the Mayfly Association. Congratulations, little boss! You successfully solved the puzzles of this phase as well. Well then, can I get a summary of the case now? Oh, not so fast. A small test comes first, as always. This time, let's see if you're being honest or not. I knew it. It's not going to be as easy as I hoped. Hey, you've never beaten me in those before, so why don't you just skip this useless test next time? It'll save you and everyone else some time. Hey, come on now, different strokes for different folks, right? I may be insignificant, but I have my own independent thoughts too, alright? Okay, enough blabbering. You can share your opinions some other time. Time to talk about the case. Fine. Regarding to Boss John's murder case, so far all the investigations can be summarized in the following key points. Aside from being a shareholder in the Yingjing Trading Company, Boss John is also a financier of the Renhui Relief Hospital. As the financier, Boss John frequents the relief hospital to visit the children, and in return, the children have a great impression of him. Aside from that, he also has a relationship with Madame Liu, a singer at the Hongshen Dance Hall. He entrusted some of his important items to her for safekeeping. In Madame Liu's eyes, Boss John is also a genuinely good person. Stop, you're not gonna say anything to interrupt me again, are you? No, please continue. As I was saying, from the information at hand, it's clear Boss John was planning on auctioning off President Van Hagen's family residence and his birthday banquet. Aside from auctioning off someone else's family residence, overall, Boss John is just as Manager Wan claimed, a great person and generous philanthropist. If you ask me, that's enough to know he's not a good person. President Van Hagen, personal disagreements and subjective comments are inappropriate right now. We should let him finish. We're nearly done, just one last point left. Boss John's real identity is a member of the Mayfly Association. The Mayfly Association is not on good terms with the Guangjie Union. However, he seems to have personal dealings with Boss Yang of the Guangjie Union. Why don't you just be straightforward about suspecting him of being a mole? President Van Hagen, those are your words, not mine. Oh, and the warning letter left for Boss Lee that showed up in Boss John's possession is also worth keeping on your radar. In the end, he mentioned the Mayfly Association, the Guangjie Union, and the warning letter. Could the mysterious person be hinting at something this time? Have you made up your mind yet, little boss? Not yet, I still need some time to think. Alright, there is no rush. The police are working hard on their investigations as well. I trust that you will make new discoveries in the next phase. Please wait patiently. Lee Hotel entrance. Time flies, soon is a new day. Since Hongshan Dance Hall is usually open in the evening, you all make arrangements to head out later. However, when the agreed upon time arrives, you only see Luke and Artem. Journalist Pierce, Consultant Wing, how come it's just the two of you? Where are the Interpreter Richter and President Van Hagen? They won't be coming with us today. Consultant Wing and I went to get them just now. As it happens, people from the association came looking for President Van Hagen because he needed to be present at a business negotiation. President Van Hagen couldn't refuse and had to go. And there were several foreigners among the guests, so President Van Hagen spontaneously invited Interpreter Richter. As a spontaneous invitation, I can already picture it. Well, it's fine. The three of us can handle it. Should we go? Okay. Sure, I'll drive. Shortly after, the three of you arrive at Hongshan Dance Hall. Stopping at the entrance, you are greeted by a valet who offers to park the car. Another fashionably dressed young man greets you with a warm welcome. Hongshan Dance Hall. You walk on a red carpet through the massive front hall, countless crystals decorating the ceiling. Dance music accompanied by chatter comes from all directions. It is incredible but lively. The young man leading the way plays with his slightly curled hair and introduces himself gallantly. Welcome to the Hongshan Dance Hall. I am Manager Zhao. Please feel free to call me Zhao. We are the #1 dance hall in all of Zhujiatang. Food, drinks, entertainment, you name it, we got it. Anything your heart desires, I will get for you. Now then, what kind of entertainment might interest you? Manager Zhao ended with an upward intonation, dragging his sentence out. He looks at you with a smile, awaiting further instructions. However, the air becomes awkwardly silent. I've never been to a place like this before. Don't look at me either. I can't afford to come here on my salary. These guys. At this moment, Manager Zhao's burning gaze lands on you. How about something quieter? Quieter? Yes, we would like a private room where we can talk and enjoy some drinks. That's it? The manager's question reminds you of what Uncle Lee asked Lu Sheng to tell you. You could visit the Hongshan Dance Hall when you have time. There are several great singers there. Then find 2 singers with great voices to sing for us. As you wish. Hearing your proposal, Luke and Artem are stunned for a moment before their expressions return to normal. They suddenly understand why you asked for singers. There is a hint of disappointment in Manager Zhao's eyes, but a few seconds later, he bursts out with joyous compliments. I expected as much from you guys. It's all about class and discernment. Today's arrangement can be described only with one word: simply elegant. It just so happens that we renovated a few private rooms for our guests recently. Please allow me to show you that. This manager changed his expression faster than I expected, and isn't simply elegant 2 words. VIP room. After following Manager Zhao through a long corridor and across an enormous dance floor, you arrive at what he described as a VIP room. The layout of the private room is luxurious and romantic, with Western-style decorations. It's clear that a lot of thought went into the interior design. Now then, please have a seat, everyone. I will return shortly with food and drinks. Okay, thank you. There's no need for that. It is my job. After a while, Manager Zhao returns with various drinks and snacks, followed by 2 girls dressed in gorgeous outfits. He places the refreshments on the table and pushes the girls behind him forward. Everyone, these two are Molly and me, our best singers. Once you hear them, you'll never forget their voices. Great, let's hear them. Sure, then I'll take my leave. Please feel free to call me for anything. Okay. Manager Zhao understands and leaves. With that, May and Molly head over to the karaoke monitor and skillfully adjust the background music and sound effects. Do you guys have any song requests? No? Me neither. Just sing your favorite song. We're fine with whatever. Oh. The beautiful melody and romantic music of a few songs ease the atmosphere in the private room. Perhaps May and Molly find you guys to be friendly and they start gossiping about the dance hall. Gossip such as Manager Zhao coming to work here in an effort to distract himself after getting his heart broken. Or a guest falling in love with one of the dancers here but failing to woo her. Upon listening to everything carefully, it seems that love is fleeting and fragile within the walls of the luxurious Hongshan dance hall. Speaking of which, do you guys know Boss Lee? Boss Lee? Which Boss Lee? Who else could she be talking about? The one from the Lee Hotel? Yeah, do you know him? Molly and I don't, but Alan was close with Boss Lee. Alan, is she another singer? When the topic of the gossip changes to Boss Lee, Luke and Artem suddenly show interest. Yeah, her voice isn't as good as May's or mine, but she isn't too bad. And Boss Lee is good to her. He asks for her every time he comes. He also gives her expensive gifts from time to time, which we're all jealous of. Yeah, we were wondering if Boss Lee could be Alan's sugar daddy. But for some reason, Alan got super mad and said he wouldn't allow us to talk like that behind her back. I don't get her. And where is Miss Alan now? Ah, I'm not sure. She hasn't been here in a while. Manager Zhao said she wasn't feeling well and requested a long break. Upon hearing this, the three of you exchange a look. Do you know where she lives? Yeah, we should do, but it's far from the dance hall, so I'll draw you a map. Okay. Molly hands you the map she drew on a piece of paper. With Hongshan Dance Hall in the center, she also marked the building and room where Alan lives. You look at Luke and Artem, nodding. They understand immediately. Thank you. We have to go now. You guys can have everything in the room. As for the bill, have Manager Zhao send it over to the Lee Hotel. The Lee Hotel? Eh? Before they can react, the three of you leave. Under the glowing neon lights, you follow the map. Big small alley. A nameplate by the roadside reads Number 8 New Alley. The street lights are dim and the western-style buildings appear particularly tall under the night sky. This appears to be a luxury apartment. Can a singer at a dance hall really afford this place? Thinking back to what Molly and May said, you can't help but wondering. Alan had a close relationship with Uncle Lee. Perhaps she isn't simply a singer but another force in town. Let's take a look inside. Yeah, I'm sure everything will clear up once we met Alan. You're right. A small alley building corridor. The design of the building is unique. The roof of each floor's corridor is curved, and the external window edge is embellished with many complex and exquisite decorations. Before you know it, you all arrive at room 402 on the third floor. You gently knock on the door. A few seconds later, there is no response, so you knock again, this time with more force. Coming! Stop with the knocking! Who is it? The door opens to reveal a young woman in a simple dress with no makeup on. She, looking about the same age as Molly and May, has a sweet and cute face. She must be Alan. You guys have the wrong apartment. I don't know you. Seeing that she is about to close the door, Luke grabs it. Please wait, Miss Alan. There's a hint of surprise in the girl's eyes, but she refuses to let go of the doorknob. Do you guys know me? Yes, we're here for you. It's about Bosley. I'm a distant relative of Uncle Liz, and I came to take over the Lee Hotel. Hearing this, Alan stops resisting. She raises her eyebrows, looking at you with disdain. And I'm supposed to take your words for it? A few days ago, I also met someone who claimed to be a relative of Bosley. Unfortunately, he turned out to be an imposter. Another person claiming to be Bosley's relative? You look at Luke and Artem, who are just as surprised as you are. Before you can ask anything else, Alan starts getting irritated. What are you still doing here? Imposters should just leave quickly. Don't disturb my beauty sleep. At this point, it's obvious that she wants you to prove your identity somehow. Sighing, you reach into your purse for the letter you found in the study. I can't show you the contents of this letter, but you do recognize the handwriting on the envelope, right? Alan takes the envelope and carefully inspects it. She noticed a slight change in her expression, which has softened quite a bit from a moment earlier. However, her tone is still apprehensive. Well, handwriting can also be imitated. Alright, answer one question for me then. I'll believe you if you know the answer. You hesitate for a moment upon hearing Alan's request, but look at Artem, not at you. Okay, ask away. Tell me, what is my relationship with Mr. Lee? Huh? Although you were mentally prepared, you didn't expect Alan to ask that. What's their relationship? She's close to Uncle Lee and very cautious. Is she from Mayfly, or does she belong to another force? As your mind runs wild with these thoughts, Artem has already come up with an answer. I believe Bosley is your benefactor, and you are indebted to him. You witness another slight change in Alan's expression, followed by sorrow. As I thought, you guys... Okay, just a moment. Shortly after, Alan returns with a wooden box. The wooden box is the same shape as the one found on Wei Street, except that there is no combination lock. By this point, Alan is no longer the charming Spitfire from moments ago. Instead, she looks a bit sad, gently touching the wooden box while sighing. I was an orphan. If it wasn't for Bosley, I would have starved to death a long time ago. Mr. Lee was like a father to me. He fed and clothed me, he paid for my education, and even supported me when I wanted to pursue singing. Now that Mr. Lee had trusted me to give this wooden box to you, I guess it's considered a part of the deadbeat. It looks like you know Uncle Lee has gone missing. Yes, I overheard a big shot at the dance hall talking about it. At first, I didn't believe it. How could someone as nice as him with so much influence in Zhuzhou go Before Alan can finish, the windows to her love shatter and a long hood heads straight for Alan. What the? Watch out! Careful! Two people step forward, protecting you and Alan. There is a loud crash as broken glass shatters on the ground. Seriously, that's way too crazy. The wooden boss is gone. Alan cries out before your thought finishes. Luke quickly gets up and looks out the window. A few seconds later, he turns to look at you. There was two of them this time, one for the surprise attack and one downstairs for support. The attacker is long gone, so we have to hurry after the one downstairs. Yes. Miss Alan, will you be fine alone? Yeah, get going. The wooden boss is important. Yeah, let's go after them. From Street. With Artem's driving skills, you quickly catch up to the person downstairs with the wooden box. It's 3 against 1. The man freezes as dark clouds cover the moon. You can't get away. Give the wooden box back to us. And tell us the truth. Who are you working for? Huh, I'm just supposed to do what I'm told. You don't actually expect me to snitch. So what if you guys stop me? There are 8 pieces, so we have plenty of chances. How do they? Before you can react, the man tosses the wooden box high up in the air. It plummets quickly to the ground. The wooden box! No! No! A figure sprints past you and catches the wooden box in the air. It's Luke. And Luke lands firmly on the ground. However, when you all look up again, the man is already gone. Damn, he got away. He knew the contents of the wooden box were important to us and used it to divert our attention. It seems things took an unexpected turn. You guys heard him, right? He said there are 8 pieces. Yeah, that means they knew far more than us. They have the manpower and a plan. There must be a sizable organization behind them. An organization. Could Uncle Lee have been captured by them? It's possible. That would explain how they know so much and why they were selective in their stakeouts. And just now, Alan mentioned that she met someone else who pretended to be a relative of Boss Lee. We don't have any real evidence at the moment. This too is only speculation. We're a little exposed out in the open, while our enemy is operating from the shadows. We have to come out with a plan moving forward, but luckily we retrieved the wooden box. At the mention of the wooden box, Luke hands it over to you in a hurry. You retrieve the model piece from within and place it in your purse. This isn't the place to talk. Let's go back to Alan. She's waiting for us. Alright. Let's go. A small alley building corridor. Alan is a little excited to see you return. She walks quickly over to you and takes your arm. Are you guys okay? I was very sick. Don't worry, we're fine. We also got the wooden box back. Good, good. If I lost the wooden box somehow, I would be devastated for not being able to do what Mr. Lee asked. No, don't say that. You didn't know someone would come and steal it. Who were there? Right now, we're not sure who sent them, but you spent some time explaining what happened to Alan, reminding her that she should stay somewhere else for a while just in case. I understand. Thank you. Oh, by the way, there's something about Mr. Lee that you guys ought to know. It might be helpful. Please, do tell. Mr. Lee had a private wine cellar at the Hongshan Dance Hall that almost no one knows about. A private wine cellar? Yes, it's where he keeps all the fine wine he collected from all over the world. It won't be easy to get into the wine cellar. Alan moves closer to you, whispering the instructions for getting inside the wine cellar into your ear. Understood. We'll head over now. You should get some rest. Yeah, good luck, you guys. Alan nods at you and returns to her room. A small alley. After leaving the building, the night is much darker than before. You look back at the towering building, emotions flooding your heart. What are you looking at? It's nothing. I was just thinking about Alan and Uncle Lee. Oh right, Consultant Wing, how did you know Uncle Lee was Alan's benefactor? Hearing your question, Luke turns toward Artem. Artem pauses for a moment, then smiles. I formed the hypothesis based on the matter with Lu Sheng and the industry's opinion of Boss Lee. Boss Lee has a kind heart and was Lu Sheng's patron. It is most likely that he also helped Alan. That makes sense. Thanks, you were so helpful when faced with Alan's questioning, Consultant Wing, and it was thanks to you too that we got the wooden box back. Sure, you're welcome. Let's now check out our new lead. I agree. Once our investigation of the dance hall is done, we can discuss our current situation. Sure, let's head out. Private wine cellar. Shortly after, you return to Hongshan Dance Hall. Based on the information Alan provided, you successfully enter Uncle Lee's private wine cellar. Inside the wine cellar are cabinets full of all kinds of exquisite wine. This wine looks really expensive. I didn't expect Uncle Lee to be a wine collector. Nor did I expect Boss Lee to hide this wine cellar at the Hongshan Dance Hall and not the Lee Hotel. Let's take a look around. Yeah. The three of you rummage through the wine cellar to no avail. No clues about the piece. Are we looking in the wrong place? I don't think so. Based on our previous experience, every time we've received new information, it has led us to a breakthrough. Luke stands to the side, holding his chin deep in thought for a moment. He then turns to look at you and Artem. Perhaps we can change our approach. What if we assume Boss Lee did hide a clue in this wine cellar, but before we came, someone already took it? Someone took it? Yes, Miss Ala said that almost no one knew of Boss Lee's wine cellar. But almost no one means someone else other than her and Boss Lee knew, right? Yes, that's precisely what I meant. After listening to Artem and Luke, you nod thoughtfully. Luke pauses for a moment, then speaks. And since Bosley has been missing for a while, no one should be entering this wine cellar. With no one entering for a long time, the furniture should be covered in dust, but this place is speckless, which means someone comes to clean it. Someone who was trusted by Bosley, familiar with Hongshan Dance Hall, ranks high enough to know about the place and can enter freely. Him? A person's figure slowly emerged in your mind, and the three of you exchange glances. Hongshan Dance Hall corridor. Having ascertained that Manager Zhao, who had just entertained you all, is a suspect, you all leave the wine storage in search of him. After passing down a long corridor, you notice Molly waving at you all. Hey, you guys are back! What happened? You look like you're in a rush. Molly, what are you doing here? Why aren't you in the private room? Don't even mention it. Manager Zhao kicked us as soon as you left. Where is Manager Zhao? Oh, I saw him head toward the entrance with something in his hand. Got it. We gotta go. Thanks. Hey! Before Molly can continue, you all hurry toward the entrance of the dance hall. Outside, you spot Manager Zhao driving away in a hurry. After hopping in the car and starting the ignition, you follow him without another word. Thumb Street. After a brief car chase, you manage to stop Manager Zhao's car. In his car is a wooden box identical to those you found before. When Manager Zhao is pulled out of the car, Artem restrains him by the wrist. He keeps muttering to himself angrily, which is in a stark contrast to before. Damn, I was this close. I was so close to succeeding. You guys ruined my happiness. Happiness? What does this have to do with your happiness? Hearing Luke's question, a hint of fury flashes across Manager Zhao's eyes. Everything has a price in this world. With money, you can do anything. My Anya left me because I had no money, and they promised me endless wealth and honor if I helped them. If that happened, Anya would surely return to me. So guess what? You guys ruined my happiness. So you knew who we were the moment you saw us? Exactly. Not only did I know who you guys were, but also what you guys were looking for. I didn't think Bosley would hide something so important in the wine cellar. If I hadn't taken the time to follow you guys to Alan, I wouldn't have heard what Alan said. Otherwise, I would have never known Bosley was in possession of such an object. Oh, I'm so stupid. It seems there was a third party at the scene all along. He must have hidden in the hallway. We were too focused to notice him. Who are they that you're referring to? There are rules that everyone must follow in Zhuzhou. My lips are sealed. Manager Zhao closes his eyes, refusing to say anything else as if resigned to his fate. This is when Officer Zhang arrives at the scene. Little boss, Consultant Wayne, Journalist Pierce, you guys again? I got a report of a car chase in the residential area. Are you guys involved? Yeah, because Manager Zhao stole something of ours, so we had to. In a few short words, you explain everything that happened, omitting the heirloom and the fact that people have been trying to steal the pieces. Manager Zhao is unusually cooperative, allowing you guys to say whatever you want. Upon understanding the situation, Officer Zhang takes Manager Zhao to the police station, as you all return to the Lee Hotel. Lee Hotel entrance. After parking the car, the three of you walk to the entrance, where you find Maris and Vin waiting. President Von Hagen, Interpreter Richter, were you guys waiting for us? Yeah, the business meeting just ended. We came outside since neither of you had returned. You guys are finally back. Did everything go well today? Today is such an eventful day. Take your time. After some effort, the three of you tell Maris and Vin all the details of what happened today. That's so dangerous. Little boss, are you okay? Do you feel unwell or are you still in shock? No, thanks for your concern. Those people were after the key pieces and they didn't harm us. Good to hear. That was a close call, but it worked out in the end. Yes, as it stands, we already have 4 pieces. According to the guy, there are 8 pieces. They were unable to get their hands on the first 4 pieces. They're going to be gunning for the last 4, so we need to be careful. They're really persistent. Do they really need to go this far regardless of how valuable the heirloom is? Maybe they have a disagreement with Bosley. So they took the Lee family heirloom not just because of its value but also as a show of power. Interpreter Richter has a point, but I can't think of anyone in Jujatown who would have such a vendetta against Bosley. Yeah, Bosley has a reputation for being a generous man. It was only conjecture. We lack the necessary information right now to see the whole picture. The next time we run into someone trying to steal a piece, it would be nice to ask them a few questions. You can't help but sigh when you think about the 2 people Officer Zhang arrested. I have this strange feeling. Somehow, it seems like the story wants us to focus on the pieces. Wait, speaking of which, we haven't even opened the wooden box we got from Manager Zhao. The wooden box opened with a click, revealing a model piece just as expected. Except this time, the wooden box also contains a note. A note? Is it a new clue? Let me see. Renhui Relief Hospital. Maris raises his eyebrows upon hearing this. Renhui Relief Hospital. I remember our former president going to the ribbon cutting ceremony when it was just established. I believe Bosley also made a donation at the time. But even if he donated, Bosley doesn't have any reason to hide a clue at the Relief Hospital. It's not like he owns that place. Mary's thought causes everyone else to think twice. After a while, Vin answers. Perhaps Bosley thought it is important to help these children. Thus, he may have placed a clue at the Relief Hospital to call attention to it. After all, I often heard about it when I participate in charity activities at school. Bosley was rumored to be a generous man who cared about the children at the Relief Hospital. Yeah, that sounds like something Uncle Lee would do. Then why don't President Von Hagen and Interpreter Richter accompany me to the Relief Hospital? Consultant Wing and Journalist Pierce, you must be tired after the long day. You guys should get some rest. Yeah, I agree. I have no objections. Good. I have some matters to attend to. Luke seemed surprised, not expecting Artem to see that. Vin and Marius, who are both smiling at this point, stare at Luke. Fine, I'll get some rest. It's a deal then. Clearly, Luke's mind is elsewhere as he fiddles with the piece in the wooden box. Hey, doesn't this model look familiar? Luke's suspicions call your attention to the piece. Now that you mention it, it does look familiar. Why don't we take out the other 3 pieces? Sure. You take out the other 3 pieces from your purse. The group inspect the pieces together and Marius is the first to smile. Isn't this a model of the Lee Hotel? Looking in the direction of where Marius is pointing, you hold a model piece up against the silhouette of the tall building in the moonlight. It really is. It seems that Bosley deliberately used a miniature model of the Lee Hotel as a key to finding the heirloom. Perhaps it holds significance. What if the heirloom is connected to the Lee Hotel? Who knows? We'll know once we get our hands on the rest of the pieces. Well, it's no use in thinking about it now. We should get some rest and focus on the next clue. Yeah, it's already this late. We should probably head back. You all nod in unison, heading inside the hotel. The moment you cross the threshold of the Lee Hotel, you can't help looking back at the distant dark horizon. What secret has Uncle Lee left behind in the miniature model of the Lee Hotel? And how long must you keep searching for answers?